All right, for what feels like forever, the crypto world has been obsessed with this one question, right? Ethereum or Solana? It's been hyped as this epic battle for the future of the internet. Well, guess what? The reality has completely changed. By 2026, this so-called war, it isn't just ending, it's already over. And the reason why? It's going to change how you see the entire market, I promise you.
I mean, this has been the question, right? The one that's plastered all over headlines for years. You've got the established king of the hill versus this lightning-fast challenger. But here's the thing. While everyone was busy placing bets and waiting for a winner to emerge, they completely missed a fundamental shift in the game itself.
Yeah, that old winner-takes-all story, it's dead. It's buried. The new reality is something people are calling co-opetition, a mix of cooperation and competition. It's not about one chain crushing the other anymore. See, they're evolving to serve totally different purposes. And that, my friends, is the key to understanding where this whole space is headed.
Okay, so how on earth do we get to this point? Well, to really get it, we have to rewind a bit and look at the old story, the myth of the great blockchain battle. For the longest time, everyone in crypto pretty much saw this as a zero-sum war for total dominance.
And the thinking was pretty simple, you know? There could only be one king of smart contracts. Every single user that Solana picked up was a user that Ethereum lost. Every metric, speed, fees, transactions, it was all part of this knockdown, drag-out fight for total supremacy. But that entire way of thinking was built on a really flawed assumption. So, what was that big flawed assumption? It was that they were even trying to build the same thing in the first place. The war didn't end because somebody surrendered. Nope. It ended because both sides basically chose to build completely different things, based on totally different design philosophies. They're on separate roads now. And this right here, this is probably the single most important difference you need to grasp, modular versus monolithic. It's kind of like this. Ethereum decided it wanted to be the super strong, secure foundation for a whole city of different buildings. Solana, it decided to be a single, perfectly optimized megatall skyscraper. So let's break down what that actually means for each of them.
Okay, so Ethereum's modular approach is basically a business-to-business play. All its recent upgrades, they've just doubled down on this idea of being the world's most secure settlement layer. It's not trying to handle every single tiny transaction itself. Instead, it acts like a Federal Reserve, providing ultimate security for other chains built right on top of it. You've probably heard of them. They're called Layer 2s, like Arbitrum and Base. They handle all the busy day-to-day traffic, while Ethereum is the bedrock making sure everything is legit and super safe. Now, Solana, it's the complete opposite. It's all about a business-to-consumer, or B2C model. It's designed from the ground up to feel just like the web you use every day, blazing fast and super cheap. It pulls this off by keeping everything tightly integrated on one single high-performance layer, and with this massive upgrade called Firedancer coming online, making it even faster and more stable, it's just all in on that seamless user experience. So, because they went down these two totally different architectural paths, something really interesting happened. They naturally started attracting different crowds, different users. They literally stopped fighting over this same slice of pie. In fact, you could say they started baking two completely different pies for two completely different parties. And by 2026, this split becomes crystal clear. You've got Ethereum cementing its role as the go-to for institutions. It's kind of like the IBM of crypto. You know, super stable, trusted, the one you go to for the big stuff like spot ETFs and tokenizing real-world assets. And then you have Solana, which is just on fire as the consumer engine. It's like the Google of crypto, all about speed, growth, and powered by incredible new tech and massive mobile adoption.
Let me give you a couple of analogies that I think really nail this. Think of Ethereum as financial steel. It's the incredibly strong, secure, industrial-grade backbone that huge institutions like BlackRock are using to build the future of finance on top of. Then you've got Solana, which is like digital high-speed rail. It's the lightning-fast, super cheap infrastructure that consumer-facing companies like Visa and Shopify can use to serve millions of people every single day.
So who's really winning then? Well, the answer is they both are. They're just winning in completely different arenas. Ethereum is the undisputed champ when it comes to value. The total value locked, the institutional trust, the real-world assets. But Solana, it's winning the race for pure activity. It's often leading in daily active users and transaction volume, capturing the culture of retail, from gaming all the way to DePIN. And you know what? This specialization has totally flipped the script for how people invest in this space. The smartest folks out there have stopped asking, should I buy Ethereum or Solana? That's the old way of thinking. The modern crypto portfolio is built around the idea of Ethereum and Solana. So if we take a look at the market around March 2026, you can see a really clear hierarchy forming. Of course, Bitcoin is still number one, that foundational digital gold. But right behind it, Ethereum and Solana have pulled away from the pack. They become the two undisputed leaders for everything else, for all the utility, creating this clear big three that really dominates the conversation and the market.
This reality has given rise to what a lot of people are calling the three-pillar portfolio strategy. The whole point is that you stop trying to pick one winner. Instead, you diversify your bet across the three core functions of this new digital economy. You have Bitcoin as your foundational store of value, Ethereum as your institutional settlement backbone, and Solana as your high-growth utility engine. And each one of these pillars has a very specific job in your portfolio. You hold Bitcoin, well, for protection. It's your hedge against all the craziness in the macroeconomy. You hold Ethereum because you want exposure to the financialization of, well, everything. It's a bet on the new financial system. And you hold Solana? That's your bet on pure, explosive growth, capturing that next wave of mass adoption.
So, what's the big takeaway from all of this? The future isn't some monopoly controlled by one single chain. No way. It's a dynamic, multi-chain digital economy where these two powerhouses don't just, exist side by side. They actually make each other stronger.
And you know who the real winner is in all of this? It's you. It's the user. Because new technology is making the blockchain you're using basically invisible. It's a concept called chain abstraction. And all it really means is that the walls between these ecosystems are just melting away. Value and data can flow seamlessly between them. So now, a win for Ethereum security can actually benefit an app running on Solana, and the other way around.
So when you boil it all down, their relationship is symbiotic. It's a perfect partnership. Ethereum is becoming the global ledger for the internet. Think of it as the secure, powerful backend where all the really important value gets stored and settled. And Solana? It's becoming the global computer, the fast, user-facing front end that millions and soon billions of people will interact with every day. They're not rivals anymore. They're basically two halves of a new whole.
And in this new cooperative world, the potential for growth is just immense. We're talking 5x, maybe even 10x from here. Because as the tech becomes more and more invisible and just works in the background of our lives, both of these ecosystems have a huge runway to grow. And the best part? They're not growing by stealing users from each other. They're growing by making the entire digital economy bigger for everyone.
Which leaves us with one final, pretty big thought to chew on. Are we actually witnessing the birth of the internet's true value layer? A combination of a super secure settlement core powered by a high-speed engine that anyone can use. Because if that's what's happening, then the whole battle was never the real story. The collaboration, that's the story. Something to think about. Thanks for tuning in.